Welcome to the Sports Machine with Brian and Dean. January 12th, Tuesday. Great show coming up last night. College Football Championship. Alabama, Clemson. Definitely going to get a recap of that. Where do both teams go from there? And Nick Saban talk after all he's accomplished. What else is there for him to accomplish in college football? NBA talk and more Cincinnati Bengals. Pac-Man, Perfect is what the NFL did correct. And of course the Really Though segment, which I guess the Bengals themselves could be in a Really Though all by themselves, really.
True story.
I guess we'll go ahead and get it started with the biggest thing that happened yesterday, the college football playoff championship game. Alabama gets a close win, 45-40 over Clemson.
You know what about at first when I saw at first I thought I was a little bit bummed about the fact that the game was on ESPN. I don't know why. I thought maybe it was going to be an ABC game, like Channel 8 in Dallas. And I saw it was on ESPN. At first I was bummed, but then they actually done a pretty good job like with the game. But man, we didn't have a pony in this race. Granted, both of us picked Clemson yesterday on yesterday's show. But that game was awesome. Man, that was a great game. Like, I enjoyed every minute of that game, man. This is one of the few times where I actually wish they could actually give something to somebody else. Like, to me, both teams won. But it wasn't like they didn't. But you know how I am with that. Like, I'm not a fan of giving out, participation prizes. But both teams played so well to the point where it's like, I hate to hear. Like, I hate it for either one of them to lose out the way they played that game. I mean, Jake Coker went out there and done his thing. He was 16 for 25, 335 yards, 2 touchdowns, off of 2 long pass plays by the tight end. I mean, O.J. Howard, 5 catches, 206 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, everybody was talking about Derrick Henry, but I don't think we was talking about the Juice Howard. Juice Howard. And I ain't even know nothing about this guy until this game. Everybody's like, the size he has and all the speed, this is what Alabama been waiting for. I'm like, and y'all just now mentioning this guy?
It's not like Coker's been the best passer of football to give him all the credit.
Right.
But did I hear that Dino, they're giving out participation ribbons?
I don't understand.
Yeah, true story. I guess you said I got a little bit soft on that game, man. Mainly because, once again, I don't have nothing against Alabama and I don't have nothing against Clemson. But it was like, man, I was just so entertained by the game at how hard both teams that came out there and played. I respect it. They both went out there. And, I mean, they laid it out there. They laid everything. Both teams left it out there in Arizona on that field. Maybe to rub off on the Cardinals. And I ain't even dissing.
There's some people out there crying. Got inspired by your message of participations and losers winning.
I kind of felt like he was ready to backhand me. I was a bit backhanded, but cool. Because I can't sit back and be one of those guys who hate participation ribbons and everything. And then turn around and be like, I wish both guys could have won. But that's just the way I felt. Like, I can't even lie. I was like, man, at the end of the game, I mean, Deshaun Watson, man.
Deshaun Watson deserved to win, but the defense did give up 158 rushing yards to Derrick Henry.
Same
and
thing.
208 yards to a tight end.
I don't even think. But then you could say the same thing about Alabama giving up 40. Like Nick Saban said it best out of the game. I mean, defensively we didn't play well, but they played well enough to at least get them to win. So
they didn't give up 40 to Clemson. They give up 40 to Deshaun Watson. Look at the stats. He got them all.
But we already knew he was going to have all of them, though.
Not like that. I mean, Gallman's a good running back.
Yeah, but they wasn't hearing that though. Like they front seven really like any run up the middle, even for Deshaun Watson, they wasn't hearing it. It was like, yo, you may get us on the outside, but you will not gash us up the middle. Like, which is this grown man neighborhood.
We mentioned it yesterday that was going to be the key to the game.
Right, the front line.
It was that middle run game. Can Clemson run the ball effectively enough on the outside to open up the middle?
Right.
And they were not able to do that, even though they still scored back to why they lost. The real reason why they lost isn't because they defense. I'm just kind of joking.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the game and the way the momentum swung as soon as Alabama hit that onside kick.
Exactly. And it was so unexpected, but you and I had a conversation before the show. Do you think that onside kick was something planned, like Colts versus Saints? Like, did they plan it, or was it just one of those deals where they just, hey, we're going to onside kick it?
It was most definitely planned.
Just planned?
I think one of the players from Alabama, might have even been the kicker, said that they had worked on it.
They had already worked on it.
They had talked about it before pre-game.
Right. So they saw something in videos all throughout the season that showed the way that they were lining up.
They took advantage of something they saw.
Right. And I agree with you because
it was too perfect.
Thank you. You stole the words right out of my mouth. It was like when the angle he kicked it was just spot on. Like, it was, only people who practice a play so hard can make something like that look so easy. Do you agree? Like, with some of the catches that these guys make in football, with some of the plays like that these NBA and some even college basketball players are able to make the passes, the dunks, the finish, the whole 9 yards, the moves that these guys make. A lot of people don't understand that it's preparation that makes something like that look so easy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So I agree with you when you said that was planned and they prepared for that. And he called it at a key time in the game because
they had just tied the game up.
Exactly. And Nick Saban said, like, our defense wasn't playing well enough to stop him. He needed something to change the momentum. And I guess at the end of the day, for me, special teams is what done in Clemson, because not only do they give up the onside kick when they got it back, but they also scored off of it.
I see, because after that, they scored off of it.
Right.
Clemson gets a field goal, gets it within 4.
Right.
Within that kickoff return by Kenyon Drake.
Done it.
Yards.
Exactly. That was almost like
that
a straw.
right there was pretty much the one that kind of broke it for me. It was like,
wow, how are they going to respond? And
I mean, they ended up scoring.
Right.
Again, another touchdown, and then Alabama will come back and score right back.
Right. With the tight end, they got him down the field again. O.J. Howard. On a play where if you're that cornerback, you had to make that tackle. And once again, I mean, great play by the tight end, but the swing pass out where the guy missed the tackle and then he goes upfield, that was one of the straws right there, because at that moment in time, even as I was watching the game, I was thinking to myself, if they're still able to get this ball back, I still think this team is good enough to make something happen. And unfortunately, the defense wasn't able to get the ball back. And like you said, they still went down there and scored. They were still a 5-point game. And they couldn't get the onside kick back like it was done to them.
And the most interesting part about this game, of course, is the money.
Yeah.
The last touchdown Clemson scored with like 12 seconds left.
Right.
They lost 45-40. The spread was 7.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what day you bet, it could have been 6.
Right.
6.5.
Right.
Depending on where it is you gamble. So they covered the points.
Right.
So Clemson, if you bet for Alabama, you lost a lot of money on that last touchdown.
Exactly. Because Alabama had the points. They had the points already. I think they was up 11. And just like that, snatched money away. That's why I'm not a huge fan of like betting the numbers and things like that. It's just, can we just have a straight up bet? My team beat your team, we good. But this whole point spread thing,
I picked the game right. I picked Clemson, and Clemson won.
Yeah, you did. They won by the points. He's like, yo, we good.
I'm saying, I'm taking the win. I'm taking this W. You don't have to take the W because Alabama wins. All right, I'm gonna take it. I was going on the numbers, the spreads.
Straight like that.
I would have made some money off of that.
You gotta put that numbers game that you got so well to use, man. You have a talent over there, man. What the Italians say, man. When you a talented person, you don't use it. Wasted talent. They get it, and see, y'all look at my hand when I done. They look at me, they say, wasted talent, like just like that.
Nobody can see your hand.
I know. YouTube live stream coming soon. Coming soon.
Say it again. Say something else. Oh, say something else. Say something else.
When you have talent, you don't put it to use. It's a waste of talent. You act like this. Moving on. Moving on. Next topic. Where do both teams go from here on out?
Where, for me,
I mean, Alabama's easy. I mean, they're going to have another recruiting class.
Right.
Top of the line.
right.
They're going to be at the top of the polls somewhere. Top
Right.
5.
I still kind of wonder is
They used to be in this position.
so Coker he's not coming back next year. I've always wondered about this team. When are they going to get that dynamic quarterback? Like for a team like Alabama, you think they have like dynamic quarterbacks out the door, like coming beating down their door, and for whatever reason,
They go
like
out
they
and
never
get
have.
game managers. That's what they do. They get game managers and they win championships.
And it's nothing wrong with that because, well,
They win
the championships prove it. 4 out of 7 years, our guys don't get drafted very high. They don't make any noise in the NFL, but they do it for us on our level, and that's all that matters. So I can't shoot that down, but
So you get a great run game, good offensive line, decent weapons,
right,
game manager, quarterback, and a great defense.
exactly. And you're playing in a division where if your specialty is defense, then you want to go play in the SEC without question. So a lot of guys look to the Alabamas to go play defense, and the LSU's, and all of the whole Southeastern Conference for the most part.
And, Southeastern Conference is the defensive conference.
Right.
Big 12 is the offensive conference.
And the Pac-12 and the Big Ten, I mean, you just kind of depends on what
The
they
Pac-12 is the quarterback conference. That's what I like to call them.
You do.
They just have a whole bunch of quarterbacks,
Right.
and then just kind of wing it from there. Pretty offensive as well.
Mm-hmm.
The Big Ten is a running conference.
Bit flashy.
Ohio State's flashy. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And Michigan is flashy.
Michigan's not flashy.
They're flashy.
They're not flashy. They under the radar.
Says the Michigan fan. Says the Michigan fan that they not flashy. Trust
The,
me. Yeah.
the ACC is the one-team conference.
Yeah.
They always have one team.
Right. Last year,
Florida
last year,
State.
yeah, there it is, right there. Florida State just last year, and this year's Clemson.
It's like they're always really good, but
And then you have the non-division type school.
The non-power fives.
Right. And well, non-division school I was talking about was Notre Dame. I mean,
I don't count them.
the Golden Domers.
I get way too much credit. I'm a hater on Notre Dame. That's what I realized.
As we go into the world of the haters.
I'm not a fan of the
They-
Golden Domers
They
neither.
always get credit before they earn it.
That's one of those programs where I guess you can say the same thing about a lot of top programs like Michigan, Ohio State, Texas, the Oklahomas, and so forth, the Alabamas. They all kind of get that same deal right off the bat. It's like, yo, that's Texas. Nah, that's Bama. You talking about Michigan? And then you got Ohio State people like, oh, what about us? You know what I mean? Say the same thing about, to an extent, USC for a while with Pete Carroll and them down. It was like, that's what I meant by like that's the flashy division too. Like, that's flashy schools, especially Oregon. Oregon with the uniform. I mean, Oregon gets recruits just because they know one thing. You can sell up on a high school player. You're gonna be clean every Saturday, but they gonna be like, okay.
You're gonna be fresh.
Yo, that's one thing. Even if you're going to be on the sideline, notice you're going to be on the sideline and you're going to be clean. Do you hear me? And they're going to say, okay, where do I sign?
Just get your stamina up. 'Cause if you do be on that field, you're not stopping no time soon.
True story.
You're gonna be going. So we know where Alabama's going. They're going stay right where they are.
Right.
As always.
Right.
I'm just gonna go through the AP top 25. We're gonna list these teams. See
Right.
where they're gonna go. Clemson was the losing team in the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Where did they go?
With Deshaun Watson
coming
staying
back.
there, right?
They're gonna go right back.
And
And they running back, I believe, is coming back as well.
right,
I said I like Galvin. I think he's a good running back.
right. You can also
Plus, they in the ACC,
exactly.
the one-team conference.
Kind of makes you wonder who's gonna come up because Deshaun Watson is a sophomore now. Next year he'll be a senior, so you'd like to think more than likely, especially if they're the favorite and they go out and they win. I think there's some other schools out there that's going to say, "Wait just a minute," like Stanford, but you also have to say, well, you know, what about Michigan? What about Ohio State? What about these guys? You know what I'm saying? So
That's what we're talking about. Where do we go from here? Stanford, you mentioned Stanford.
right,
You think they're just gonna be just as good next year as they were this year?
I think so. And not to mention, I mean, their defense was
Are they the favorite for the Pac-12?
without question, yeah, right now,
Okay.
right.
Ohio State gonna go through a little bit of a transition.
I think
I
so.
believe.
I think they'll wind up having 2 losses, and they'll be on the outside. I think Michigan, once again, your Michigan Wolverines over there, those guys are so for real. And they going to come in with a chip on their shoulder due to the fact they feel like that maybe, maybe had that been us playing Bama, we wouldn't have got blowed out like our counterparts over there at Michigan State, the Spartans. And I kind of wonder about that school over there, but just as much you wonder about Michigan State, it's like they always have had some pretty decent cornerbacks come out from over there.
Mentioning Michigan State, Connor Cook, I believe, is gone.
Yeah. But then again, it's like,
It's like you're not known for quarterbacks.
exactly, Oklahoma,
Getting blowed out.
man,
Are they the favorite for the Big 12? Or
still Baylor.
Baylor.
Yeah.
TCU.
Baylor and I say Baylor right now
Baylor,
because
they got people coming back.
exactly. And then you saw what they could do with the second and a third string quarterback. It's like it doesn't stop. The offense, what they do in Baylor doesn't stop for anybody. You come to that school there, just plug and play.
I feel bad for the quarterbacks who play there now.
Yeah.
Because when you look at if you're trying to go to the NFL, don't go to Baylor. Because now everyone's kind of seeing like, all right,
It's this is the
is
offense.
system.
It's the system.
the
Yeah.
system is
Flawless. Well, it's not flawless, but
it's
it's
conducive to quarterbacks.
there it is.
The Texas team I just want to talk about, Houston,
Mm-hmm.
13-1. That loss that they got was just a huge loss because it would have been interesting because they probably got an even a bigger bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
But they went out there and did what they were supposed to do to Florida State. So
You know what's funny to me though, is when you look at the conference Houston was playing. I think it's
it was a good conference.
Thank you. Like Temple for a while was pretty good,
The underrated conference.
and then exactly
Some called American Athletic Conference.
Exactly. Like they were. You had Air Force. Well, not Air Force, but that was Navy. Navy's in their conference, if I'm not mistaken. Navy was pretty good. Temple. Who was that? Memphis with Paxton Lynch was pretty good this year, and then you had Houston that won a division. All those teams were at least 2 or 3 games above 500 in that conference. Those 4 teams.
That conference might be better than the. To be honest, that conference is probably better than the ACC without Clemson.
You know, now that you bring up the ACC, is North Carolina for real? I mean, are you buying them or selling?
I'm selling
You want to sell North Carolina?
because I've seen North Carolina and Duke
Yeah.
football teams do this, where they just like surprise everybody one year, then the next year they're right back to
Just
average.
when everybody's expecting them to do something, they die out.
Because they can get talent because they're top schools,
Right.
just not quite on that level as the Clemsons.
Right.
Mentioned back to the ACC, Florida State, they about to fall off. They look like
No.
they look like they're about to fall off.
I don't think so. They're going to be in the top 15, but they're not going to be contenders for the playoff. At least I don't think so. Not right now.
True statement. That's probably what I see. I said fell off, but they're probably not gonna fall off. Just they're gonna be one of those teams that just hanging at the bottom of the top 25. In my opinion.
I think Florida is going to be for real. I guess 4 teams. I guess I'll say I'll be looking for to potentially make some noise in the playoff. I guess I'll give 6 to be exact, real quick. And that's just off the top of my head. I'm gonna say Clemson at 1. I'm gonna say Florida. I'm gonna say Michigan, Clemson, Florida, Michigan, Baylor, LSU, most definitely, Stanford.
On the LSU part, Leonard Fournette coming back. Do you think? I hope he comes back and shutters everything Henry did.
Yeah.
And no offense to Henry, because it's
Right.
not his fault. Just because everyone started talking trash about Leonard Fournette, then he went out to that bowl game and put up
Right.
200 yards.
Right. And see, my deal with
It's like if everyone's able to crowd the box, then he's not gonna be able to run the ball.
it's
That's
funny.
anybody.
You know what I find funny about LSU, real quick, B? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Is they have some dynamic players. Like they always have the most players that's playing in the NFL right now. Like, but for whatever reason, they're not able to put it together on the same team. Like I wonder about that. Like they have some dynamic receivers, dynamic defensive players. Like I said, the most dynamic running back in all of college football right now, arguably. Besides, you could say
I don't
whether
think it's arguable, in my opinion.
you don't think so.
I think he is. Like, if you're doing the draft for running backs, you gonna take Henry over him?
No. Christian McCaffrey is kind of.
No, I wouldn't take this running back.
You wouldn't?
I put McCaffrey over Henry.
Damn.
NFL prospect wise, I'm sorry, I don't believe in Alabama running backs.
I could understand
I
why.
don't really believe in anybody from Alabama offensively besides Amari Cooper.
Well, they had some true receivers come out. Because you also look at Julio Jones, who's. Hey, you down on Julio?
I'm busted.
Oh, man. Wow. Woo. Controversial B. Frank over here. Controversial over there. You say no to Julio.
Of the haters.
No to Julio. Check him out over here, man.
I don't have a problem with Julio Jones. I just don't think he's the truth. I think he's a top 20 wide receiver.
God. Now, I'm known for my knee-jerk reactions, right? I'm the knee-jerk person. though. You supposed to be, you supposed to be the logical guy. I'm supposed to be the strange. We switching roles?
I got the one I be dissing Chris Paul every other week. So I don't think we can say that.
Oh, man. Wow. Okay. We ain't got enough time to go through that one. Tomorrow's show, we going to name 20. You say he's top 20, so we got to name, at least 19 receivers that's better than Julio Jones.
For the people out there freaking out, I do know he led the league in receiving yards. I do know that.
Yeah, straight up.
Where that? Look where the team is at, though.
Straight like that. I can't even argue with that. Only reason I didn't pick Houston in my top 6 is because I think the college football playoff committee is going to always look at them and be like, well, the conference or the strength of schedule, the opponents that they played, and that type of stuff there. So it's like you said, if Houston doesn't go undefeated, chances of them making the college football playoff is going to be slim to none.
True.
That's the only reason why I didn't put them at
They can go undefeated
my
and still
6.
not make it. It's just
Yeah. They still find a way to get them out of there.
ridiculous. Sticking around the same subject, we mentioned Julio Jones, Amari Cooper, all these Alabama players.
Right.
The coach Nick Saban, is he gonna make that move to the next level to the NFL? He has 5 national championships.
Right.
What else does he need to do in college football?
You know, I've been trying to ask myself that question, and I don't think it's unless he's trying to become like who's that former UCLA head coach, Red Auerbach or something like that. Unless he's just trying to win as many national titles as he can to go down as the best college football head coach ever. If he's going for that, then by all means, I mean, if he hasn't already taken that throne already, he's mighty close. So, before the show, I've discussed with you, and I told you if I'm Cleveland, I'm throwing everything, including the kitchen sink at him, and hoping I can pry this guy away from him and give him everything he wants and he needs.
That'd be interesting. I wonder if he would keep Johnny. I think he would. I think he would put him on the practice squad, just to be funny.
Because I like to think that if this is one thing, hypothetically, if Cleveland was to give him that same type of package that Seattle gave Pete Carroll, look, or hey, you can be in charge of your roster, because Pete Carroll has full control over his roster and players who he picks up and things like that. The GM there is there to basically let him know whether or not the money is right, like the cap. You know, hey, can we fit him in through the cap and stuff like that? That's basically the GM's job. Pete Carroll has full control over his roster. I think if they give Nick Saban that same kind of control over his roster, over his players, allow him to at least assist in picking the GM, you know what I'm saying, another good football-minded guy who knows football, knows how to draft as well. Let him bring in, let's say, his offensive coordinator. Yeah, bring all Lane Kiffin with him, because I think Lane Kiffin would like to get back to the NFL. He was wrong. Not only he was wrongfully fired in California, period, at USC, and he got wrongfully fired by Al Davis in Oakland. You know.
I wonder if he would go back to a California team. Would you
Depends.
go back? I wouldn't go back to it.
Yeah.
That's bad luck over there. I don't drive. That's why I don't stop in Atlanta.
It's funny because he has like that West Coast personality, like that laid back, real cool dude, but the West Coast don't love him, it seems like.
I'm saying you stick to the South.
True story.
So you're saying Cleveland should just go in there and just let Nick Saban go full blown?
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
If they really serious about winning. Because that's a tough division that they're in, period. To be for real, Pittsburgh is going to always be Pittsburgh. Cincinnati, regardless of how people may feel about Cincinnati, they on the right track.
I'm saying they're at least going to beat you in the regular season.
Exactly. So,
at least.
And the Baltimore, this is the first time we've seen Baltimore be this bad in what? Forever. Like, I can't remember when last I seen Baltimore look like this. So, you bringing that head coach into like already pretty stacked division. So it's like you need to be able to give him that kind of control over everything he needs to do in order to become successful, to bring in his players, to run this type of system. You know, once again, you can say the same thing for Tennessee. If I'm Tennessee, I got a young quarterback here who can do something.
I think Tennessee looking for an offensive guy.
I can understand that. I can
It just
understand
seems
it.
that way with the way they're searching. I mean,
It's not like they're just that solid defensively. I mean, like I said, Lane Kiffin, once again, if I'm just hypothetically speaking, from the standpoint of Nick Saban goes, maybe he brings Lane Kiffin, but then again, Lane Kiffin may decide to stay at Alabama to coach. Even though prior reports, according to ESPN, was saying that if Nick Saban was to leave, everybody was looking at Dabo Swinney. They were looking at Dabo Swinney as the Alabama guy to come back in there and be like his
I
predecessor.
don't think Dabo Swinney would leave.
No, I don't think so neither. Like
The way it's going
he's gonna
right
get
now.
a statue put out there for him.
I mean, even if they don't win, it's like this
Right.
is the best Clemson's been in football
Right,
forever.
Right.
I mean, in my lifetime.
right. And I view Clemson a lot like how people used to. It's like this is one of those teams that everybody expects them to be. This team right here, talented, fast guys. They supposed to be this, and then they always underachieve, except for as of the last couple of seasons anyway. I guess to get back on topic, if I'm Cleveland, Tennessee, and even San Francisco, that's the guy I'm going to right now saying, look, man, let us know what you need. What can we do for you, like Brown? Like, what can Brown do for you? What can we do for you? What do we need to get you away from Alabama? You know, we'll give you control of your roster. We'll give you everything you need. We just want you here.
What would Alabama do after that? I don't know.
Ain't nothing they can't do. Like, in my opinion, the only thing they can do is just look for another coach.
We'll give you more money.
But it's like,
They give him more money. That's how much money he bring in. Because you know if he leaves, that that. I mean,
The recruiting, the whole nine.
They gonna take a dip. What was Alabama before Nick Saban got there?
Oh, Alabama was like crap. Like I won't say that they was crap, but they was like in the middle of they was in the middle of the pack. Because when Nick Saban was at LSU, that was all LSU division. Like that was LSU in Florida. That's all it was because Urban Meyer was down there in Florida at the time. That was like it was LSU in Florida. That's all the SEC was. Georgia a little bit. You know, Georgia's always kind of relevant in the SEC for a little bit.
Always a little relevant. Never too relevant.
Same thing about Auburn. Auburn has its
Auburn goes 3-year stretches or 4-year stretches, and then like they'll be bad for 3 or 4 years, and then they'll randomly go to the national championship.
right.
Then they'll be bad for another 4 years, and then randomly make the national championship.
Exactly. And Ole Miss, they tend to, you know, it's one of those teams you can say a lot like how Clemson was a few years back. Is like, they got the talent, but that's all you can say is they got the talent, but for whatever reason, it just didn't come together, you know. So
It never works out.
right, but as far as Alabama go, I mean, you know,
It's a great SEC.
right,
You know Vanderbilt.
right. Who knows? They may bring in, depending on. I'm about to say, who knows? Alabama may go full blown Chip.
Oh,
The way you rolled your eyes should have been a meme. It's like one of those memes, like when someone says something that you completely just that you hate the roll of the eye.
Say something else.
It could. I'm just once again we're hypothetically speaking. We're just discussing whether or not
extremely hypothetical.
yeah, like whether or not Nick Saban stays, and if he stays, what else can he accomplish in college football? Because I don't know what else he can accomplish.
Is he the greatest college football head coach of all time?
As of right now, I have to say yeah.
Boom. That's all I need to hear.
Like I can't shoot it down. Like I don't, I mean, I know people bring up Bear Bryant and Lou Holtz
I want
and
you to know something. Football is the biggest it's ever been, correct?
right,
They said it's the best form it's ever been.
right,
And Nick Saban is dominating college.
right.
That's all I need to know.
True story. Like you can't shoot it down. Like you could arguably say this one of the best dynasties out, and I say that because they ran up on the buzzsaw that was Ohio State last year, and their whole deal now is like, let's finish. So
I think it all started with Colt McCoy getting injured.
exactly. Man, don't even mention that, bro. You know how I feel about that game. Like for a while, that's why I was a little bit sour on Alabama. 'Cause I was like, yo. Had Colt McCoy not gotten hurt in that game, like on the real, that probably would have bought Mac Brown another year. That probably would have.
You know what ended Mac Brown's career?
Yeah,
Jameis Winston.
yeah, true story. That is true.
As soon as they found out that Jameis Winston called Texas,
And left them a message. He called and left a message. His excuse out now, man. We about to go. Oh man, we should have been doing this at that time. I think Mac Brown would have been on my Really Though every day. I found something new. Yeah, because I found something new. Like it's something new every time. Like, God, I'm Mac Brown. I'm Really Though Mac Brown just because, man. Anyway,
really don't Mac Brown because he's Mac Brown.
yeah, straight
That's
up.
why.
Mac Brown, man. It's funny because everybody still say, "Oh, Mac Brown, he done so much for Texas." Yeah, he did.
Why didn't he get another job?
The rumor has it he was waiting for the North Carolina AD position to open up at the time when all that stuff started hitting the fan about the Jameis Winston deal. Well, the moment everybody found it, like, man, you whiffing on guys like this, how can we make you our AD?
We can't make you nothing.
Yeah, and now he's just
Talking
with
to sport.
ESPN and the rest of them.
Not even that good at it. No offense. I mean, it is offense. I mean, it is a negative.
I've heard him call a couple of SMU games, and I thought, he all right.
You know what? I
Yeah.
should do nothing but applaud you for giving away participation ribbons. Coming up, we move to the NBA on the Sports Machine.
I'm Dwelling Dean with your Sports Machine News Update. before leaving Paul Brown Stadium on Monday for the final time this season. Bengals cornerback Adam Jones stood behind statements he made on The Dan Patrick Show, alleging that Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Antonio Brown faked an injury in Saturday night's AFC wildcard game. It was after being hit in the head by Bengals linebacker Vontaze Burfict following an incomplete pass that Brown was said he had suffered in a concussion. Sources told ESPN that Brown was still in the NFL concussion protocol as of Monday. Bengals linebacker Vontaze Burfict has been suspended for the first 3 games of the 2016 season for repeated violations of player safety rules that the NFL announced Monday night. The fourth-year player will appeal, a source told ESPN's Adam Kaplan. In a news release, the league cited Burfict's most recent transgression, an unnecessary roughness penalty with 22 seconds remaining in Saturday's AFC wildcard game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, as the tipping point. The Brooklyn Nets have the third worst record in the NBA, just cleaned house and are without total control of their first-round pick until 2019. Despite all of that, Nets owner Mikhail Prokhorov says his team isn't that far off from making a quick turnaround. Prokhorov made his way from Russia to New York to address reporters at a day after he decided to fire coach Lionel Hollins and resign general manager Billy King within the organization. Hall of Fame coach Larry Brown was back on the court Monday to direct number 10 SMU practice the day after he missed the second half of the game for the undefeated Mustangs. Quote, "I'm going to be all right. With me, if I turn the wrong way, if I even jump too high, too quickly, I'll lose some equilibrium," Brown said Monday before practice. "Maybe it's because I'm 75 and don't realize it," close quote. That was your Sports Machine News Update. I am Dwaylen Dean, Sports Machine.
Sports Machine, Brian Dean. Pretty much this first half hour was all college football, recap the game, what to look forward to next season from certain teams, and Nick Saban, his future and the possible future of Alabama football if he had ever decided to leave.
Right. Which I think he should. But once again, hey, sometimes the grass ain't always green on the other side.
Luda.
Yes. I knew you was going to catch it.
Totally flipping the script to the NBA.
Right on.
You were telling me before the show that Hassan Whiteside and Draymond Green are not the best of friends.
No, well, according to Twitter, as you know, Twitter's got to be the greatest drama show. It's not even a show, but it's one spot to find some drama. And it just so happened that, Hassan Whiteside had sent out a tweet that was saying, hey, if you try to play small ball against us, we gonna dominate. And not necessarily those words, but that was basically the tipping point of it. It was basically what he was saying. The main idea of his tweet was, if you play small ball against us, we gonna handle you. Period. Okay?
I feel like that was Kevin Hart Gangsta Clap right there.
Straight like that. That was just straight like, if you do it, we gonna handle you. Like no, it ain't no straight Ninja Turtles when he said, forget the turtle babies. You should have went and told no. Like straight Raphael. Like that's what he did. Like, and then Draymond Green sent out a tweet and was like, man, some people is a little bit upset at the fact that big men has become the dinosaurs of the NBA. Straight like that. So Hassan Whiteside says, tweets out there. They're not tweeting at each other. It's indirect. It's direct, but it's indirect. You hear me? So then Whiteside decides to say, if you put a 6'6" dude on me, I'm giving him the business. Now that's just the main idea of it. Just if you put anybody undersized on me, I'm having the game on them. I'm clowning them. I'm killing them. I'm taking them out the game. I'm making you readjust your whole defense because of me. And his numbers says like, yo, you gonna have to readjust your game. I watched the game where they dominated my Mavericks. I can't stand Miami, but mainly when Dallas and Miami play each other, like I can't stand Miami for that. For the whole, you already know how I feel about the whole first finals thing. Anyway, so Draymond Green sends out another tweet. It says, Well, in order for you to dominate, you have to be able to make shots. Just like that. I was like, whoa.
I saw Whiteside shoot 60% from the field.
So he can clearly make
I'm not saying like it's shooting, but
It's like,
he's obviously better than average.
true story.
I mean, he averages a double-double, has 3.81 blocks a game.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like he was stunting. It's not like he was lying. And that's why I was like, excuse me, it wasn't, and what made it such a big deal was because of the fact that Miami and Golden State was playing each other yesterday, like last night. So,
Which, of course, is the funniest part about this because Hassan Whiteside ended up not playing.
yeah.
Which is coincidental. They play again in February, if you want to look forward to that. The funniest part about the Heat, to me, is the fact that no one even talks about Hassan Whiteside.
They're not. Well,
I mean,
we talk about him, and maybe NBA Network talks about him, but nobody
it's
from
Chris Bosh.
Exactly.
It's Dwayne Wade. And
that's what you mostly hear.
I'm going to say Hassan Whiteside go in there and put it down. Then you have Golden State, which they don't even talk about Draymond Green no more.
Even though he's just
it's all
averaging
Steph Curry.
triple doubles like
Yeah.
it ain't nothing.
I mean, he's over here breaking triple-double records.
And that was basically the whole Twitter deal was basically you can find the whole tweet between the two on Bleacher Report. They're the first to drop it. Yep,
That's interesting.
it is.
The NBA, finally, two players in the NBA that dislike each other. So I get tired of seeing NBA players on banana boats.
Because Draymond Green straight tells him, like after one tweet he was saying 2 dribbles in the post, they gonna cry. That was Hassan Whiteside. They gonna cry for a double team. Just watch go small ball. It's like, and then Draymond Green says 82 million reasons to flop, and the D League ain't never been one. But keep wearing shirts chasing that 2K rating. Hashtag the finer things. Oh man.
And he didn't play. That's terrible.
Draymond Green.
You gotta find a way to get him in the game.
Right on.
I want to see Hassan Whiteside play Draymond Green. Because Draymond Green can't cover Hassan Whiteside. I like Draymond Green.
Because
He's
I guess
potential defensive player of the year, but
because he was hashtagging don't flop, get your weight up, light double. That's what he was calling them, light double. So that's why he said out there, hey, 82 million, baby, 82 million. My dough speaks for itself. Hey.
let's be honest, he was overpaid.
He didn't earn it though. He earned his 82 mil.
Yeah, the reason he's overpaid, you want to know why he's overpaid? Because he makes more money than Stephen Curry. That's why he's overpaid. On the same team as the best player in the NBA right now, and he's overpaid. He made less.
Yeah.
He overpaid. He doesn't kind of make more money than Stephen Curry. He makes way more money than Stephen Curry.
Draymond Green?
Yes.
Well, yeah, he's in that situation. Yeah, he's overpaid. It's
Like, is that not what I said?
Like,
is that not the exact words I said? I said he was overpaid.
yeah, you say he's overpaid. Well, yeah, when you start putting him up against Steph Curry, it's like, hey, who should get paid more, Stephen Curry, the MVP, or Draymond Green? Like, I think he was Finals MVP, wasn't he? I think Draymond Green, if I'm not mistaken, was Finals MVP. I could be wrong.
$3 million difference per year.
$3 million is a lot of money.
Per year, yes.
Yes, it's a whole lot of money. Like, to the average guys like us, $3 million, it's like, yes.
He's overpaid.
Yes. I mean, Stephen Curry being a cool dude he is, like, man, $3 million, I ain't tripping. They gonna give me that back at Under Armour.
Andre Iguodala also makes more money than Stephen Curry.
That's just blasphemy. That's blasphemy. And I know AI, Andre Iguodala, he's earned his stripes and he's earned that championship he got with that team. But let's not forget, like, Stephen Curry now on this team, a lot of things don't fly. A lot of things don't go so well.
He only made 4 threes tonight, by the way.
Ah, crap. He needed one more shot. And then we would have been knowing what was going down in the Curry household tonight. Ding, ding, ding.
Moving forward from the NBA, going right back to football on the sports machine. We had to get back on the Bengals.
Yes.
They couldn't leave him alone, unfortunately.
When you have a meltdown the way that team had a meltdown, you're going to be the topic of conversation at least until the next round of the playoffs start. And then they'll fall back in obscurity.
It was released. Vontaze Burfict has been suspended for the first 3 games of next season
Right.
for what they're calling repeated violations.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it's really about the repeated part. I feel like the NFL was doing this because they felt like they had to prove that they were right.
Because he not just suspended 3 games. He suspended 3 games without pay. Like, yeah. He suspended you, but
How you gonna fine them too?
God.
He was
Yeah.
fined $50,000 as well earlier for the season finale hit against Baltimore.
Well, dang. I mean, dude, if he played hockey, he would be what they called an enforcer. Like, that's exactly what Vontaze Burfict is.
He's really a good player.
Yeah. Let's not forget, he made the play to help the team win the game. If it wasn't for some screw job running back fumbling the ball and putting them in that position to begin with. Yes, I called him a screw job.
You
did. He's a screw job running back, man. He had one job. You had one thing to do, and he couldn't even do that. They should be asking. I'd be asking Hill, say, you gonna pay for that, right?
Well, that's the new NFL now.
Yeah.
Running backs fumbling the ball at the end of games. The best one's doing it.
Right. Yeah, well, true
Adrian
story.
Peterson doing
There it
it.
is. There it is.
Adrian Peterson did it.
And blaming on other people. Kicker, in his case, got the,
Can't go into that yet.
yeah. And then in Burfitt's case, it's like, bruh, I caught the game-winning interception. I ran up the field. I ran to the locker room because I knew the game was over. The worst thing that happened was them coming back out there. The very next play. It was like, oh, dang. And then from there, you already know. We don't even need to go back over it.
It was a meltdown.
Yeah,
That was the reason we still talking about them. The Bengals turned straight.
I guess what I'm trying to, what'd you say?
Who they?
Right. Right. Right.
Who they again?
Right.
Oh, yeah. It's playoffs. I forgot.
And the thing is, man, and I'm glad that they backed Marvin Lewis because, once again, he done the best he could without his starting quarterback who just so happened to break his thumb on his throwing hand 3 weeks before the playoffs started. So, because in my opinion, the defense played well enough to win them the game. It's just the fact that the weather and A.J. McCarron not being used to playoff intensity that's the reason why I don't think they won the game. But I think Vontaze Burfict shouldn't have been, like, if you're going to fine him. But just, like, 3-game suspension, like, whoa. I'm going to defend him and say that's a bit excessive. 1 game, okay. 1 game, no pay. All right. But then they talking about past history. It's like, well, in the past he's done this, and that was the tipping point. It's like, wow. If you look at the replay of the incident, he ducked into him. The way Brown ducked, he ducked into him, and it was like, wow. You kind of ducked your head into it, and as he was trying to run by, it was like his head hit the shoulder pads. It was violent. Yes, did it look pretty violent? It did look pretty violent. But a lot of things look violent in slow motion.
True that.
Like,
Anything could look violent.
right. Everything looks pretty violent when you slow it down and you see a guy hitting head and neck go the way it did. Yeah, he really did. But I guess that leads to the next ordeal with Pac-Man Jones and what he said.
Oh, yes. Antonio Brown was not hurt. I know he was faking it. He said he winked at us and everything. Go back and look at the play. If you go back in slow motion play, you tell me that Vontaze hit him in the head or did his shoulder pads barely touch him.
I disagree with that last part. That wasn't his shoulder pads barely hit him. Like, his helmet and full blown shoulder pads. Now, once again, I say that everything looks violent in slow motion. So I think that's the reason why they gave Vontaze Burfict the 3-game suspension without pay, and like you said, they fined him like $50,000 for it because of the fact that they're looking at the fact that at the aggression of it, like they're looking at the aggression, and if it looked bad, you already know they're going to throw the flag. It could have been legal hit the whole 9 yards because it was one legal hit that happened in the game, and then it was another hit in the game that looked illegal, and they didn't throw the flag. So it's like but one hit looked more violent than the other, and so therefore they're gonna throw the flag to that. But to get back to my point, I disagree with Adam Pac-Man Jones on the barely hit him.
Nah, he hit him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that was, and now how fast Vontaze Burfict was going, that's another story because Brown was coming with his head down, and then he was trying. It looked like he was trying to avoid him, but he wasn't going to just go
right
all the way around. It was like if I hit him, I hit him, but it just so happened to be his shoulder on his head, and it was pretty jacked up. But
see, Pac-Man was just backing his statement pretty much,
right?
Because he had already said on Saturday. He was pretty even more animated on Saturday what he said then.
Right.
Man, like he expletives.
Yeah,
multitude.
Right. And and they also said that Joey Porter could be fined for being out on the field. Once again, I agree with that because I think if Joey Porter wasn't on the field, ain't no telling what could have happened then. They may have still escaped with a victory in that situation because Pittsburgh didn't have any more timeouts and it was still 18 seconds. And you can't risk, in that situation, I don't think they would have been willing to risk a guy being stopped in bounds and they would have attempted the 50-yard field goal.
On the whole Pac-Man Jones thing, because this is big for him.
Right.
He's about to be a free agent.
Right.
A lot of people think his career is over after this because of this. I mean, he still plays well to me.
Right.
I mean, every time I see him play, he's still playing.
I think Cincinnati brings him back because, like, when you look at what Pac-Man Jones or Adam Jones was early on in his career at Tennessee, when he was playing with the Cowboys, dude was a train wreck. Like, he was an atom bomb. Like, it wasn't Adam Pac-Man Jones. There was an atom bomb. It's just you waiting on him to explode and kill his whole career off. A lot of people wouldn't have been surprised if he wasn't going to be on the news, whether he done something violent and hurt somebody in the worst way or something violent happened to him in the worst way. Because that was the life that he was living. He was in the fast lane that hard, even though he got out of the hood. Like, he made it to where a lot of people can't make it. So, I think they bring him back because, for one, you can't deny his cover cornerback skills.
He can't cover.
He can cover.
Because he mentioned that as well.
Right.
They said everyone's talking about that play and Pac-Man Jones pointing out
right.
Porter and him and the ref.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's pointing that out. Then he said, I only gave up one catch all game.
Straight up, he did. Like, he handled his business. That's how he did. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're Cincinnati, you can't have a knee-jerk reaction and be like, well, he done this. The dude was emotional after a game. After a game that they felt like they won, after a game that his boy made the play to win the game. So, if you're going to let anybody go, let Hill go.
Well, see, that's knee-jerk right there. One fumble, you going to be off the team.
They could have got that city a win, and this wouldn't even been a discussion right now.
It might still be a discussion. Because would they have suspended Burfict had they won?
Well, they wouldn't have been in that situation. Like the hit.
I'm just saying, if the hit happened and they won, would he have been suspended from playoff games?
No.
Or do you think? Yeah, exactly. NFL about that money.
Yeah.
It's time.
Really though. Really though. Really though. Really though.
Ryan Dean on Sports Machine. There's things that sports that make you say, really though? Who would you like to go first today?
Make mine real quick. It seems like this week, everybody's fan base has to get really though. And my really though goes to the Minnesota Vikings and the idiot fans out there that think it's cool to threaten guys' lives over a game, over a child's game. As you know, unless you've been on the moon or outside the galaxy or outside the planet, Walsh missed the field goal. Okay, it happens. Guys lose games over field goals, right?
Yep.
It's done happened before.
Ask the University of Texas.
Exactly. University of Texas. Everybody done lost games because of special teams before. It's not the first time, ain't the last time. Everybody's lost a game in some type of weird way. I mean, just ask Tennessee. The year they went to the Super Bowl, they lost the Super Bowl off a half a yard. Tell me how Kevin Dyson's supposed to feel. You had a chance to make the play, right? And you was half a yard away from winning the Super Bowl. You tell me how they fan bases feel knowing that half a yard is what stopped them from having their first title. Back on topic. You guys out there threatening this guy, this kicker, his family, the whole 9 yards, all because he missed a kick, even though he was the reason why y'all had 9 points on the board to begin with. So check yourself. Check yourself. Watch the game. He was the reason why they was in the game. Ask yourself, why didn't Teddy Bridgewater get a touchdown? Why didn't Adrian Peterson have to fumble the ball? Send them threats. Let's not forget real quick while I'm at it. I'm sorry, B. I didn't mean to cut you off because I just thought about something. Last year, what Minnesota fans just said that they didn't want Adrian Peterson playing for their team no more because of his incident with how he disciplined his child? I remember. Raise your hand if you remember, please. I remember like they was ready to boycott him. So, Minnesota fans, check yourself. Really though, I'm done.
Game. Blouses.
Cause you was on it too.
I was on Adrian Peterson pretty hard. I ain't just say you gotta go threaten him. You might went a little too far there. Just a little bit. Mine really though is not as entertaining. Mine goes to the National Basketball Association's professional team that resides in Philadelphia.
The Tankers.
So they plan to retire Dolph Shay's number. No problem. It's the number 4. That just happens to be the number Nerlens Noel wears.
Oh,
That's not an issue. That's not an issue. You tell Nerlens Noel, you know what, bro? You can't wear the number no more. That's logical because Nerlens Noel is nobody in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a call what it is. Is that what the National Basketball Association's Philadelphia's team does?
They shouldn't be retiring anybody jerseys right now unless it's out an option.
They already did that.
Okay.
Nah, that's not what they say. Nerlens Noel, you can wear the jersey in honor.
Wow. So disrespectful.
That dude gonna come out of his grave. I'd come out of my grave for that. You gonna let Nerlens Noel wear my number after I put in 12-time All-Star?
Straight up.
And you only got 4 wins on the season.
No.
I don't understand.
Like, really though? Nerlens Noel is honoring this guy.
How? Coming off the bench? Nice.
I mean, if they're winning too much, he got to go to the bench.
True story.
And they'll bring in this 6'6" guy so Hassan Whiteside can dominate him.
Straight like that.
So for the Philadelphia team that resides in the NBA, really though, I refuse to call them by their name until they get to the playoffs at some point. Yours was way better. Even though you did threaten him.
They did. They threatened him. Like my deal was simple. It was like, it popped up in my mind. I was intending to get that to you. I was like, during yesterday's show, I was like, what? The same fan bases that is cheering Adrian Peterson on was ready to sign a petition to get him off the team if he continued to play last year. I remember it. I remember it because you and I had a deep conversation about it at the job.
Yes, we did.
Like, we don't think he should be. Anyway, man, nah.
Great show today.
Flip flop.
Coming up tomorrow, probably have some NBA power rankings. Hopefully the Bengals will be done in news. We won't have to talk about them anymore.
Minnesota fans should go join the Olympics and learn how to flip flop. Show the whole gymnastics team this is how you flip.
You're gonna be hated outside of everywhere but Dallas. You keep going.
See, that's why you're the logical guy and I am the guy who just goes to the extreme. Yes.
Not sure if that's possible. All that coming up next time right here on the Sports Machine.
Peace out.